Jai Hind to all. Welcome to the lecture series of analog circuit, that is BEC 402 as per the EKTU syllabus. This lecture will explain you the frequency response of the amplifier. This is the topic from the unit 1 where we will discuss the common emitter amplifier, then its frequency response. We will discuss the BJT capacitance and its high frequency model. So, this is the circuit diagram for common emitter amplifier. For common emitter amplifier, the emitter node is common. That means we are applying input either at the base or you can take the output from the collector because emitter node is common. So, in common emitter amplifier, input is applied at base, output is taken from collector and the emitter node is common. Here you can see that the signal which is to be amplified is applied at the base terminal through this capacitor CC1, which is known as coupling capacitor. So, input is directly coupled to base. Here the fixed biasing is used at the base, and for that this RB base resistance is externally connected to the base terminal to ensure the active region of operation for common emitter amplifier to behave as an amplifier. Here we have used the constant current source biasing I. So this is the DC analysis part, because before moving to the common emitter amplifier configuration, first it is required to ensure the operating point of this common emitter circuit, that points must be lie in the active region. So for that we have used the constant current source biasing and the RB at the base terminal. This R signal represents the small resistance of this battery, that is V signal, that is a signal source. So here the input is connected to the base terminal. At the collector terminal, which is the output node, the VCC is used as the DC bias voltage, and or you can say the supply, and the output is taken from again a coupling capacitor known as CC2, and at across this load we can take the output. So this is also coupling capacitor. The another capacitor is used here across this supply, and this is known as bypass capacitor. This is known as bypass capacitor. So you can see that at whenever this circuit, this CE having very less amplitude or magnitude impedance in term of impedance, then it will behave as a short circuit and this node is directly connected to ground. And this is the general case for the mid-band analysis. At mid-band, these CC1, CC2 and CE are considered as short circuited. So here you can see that the emitter node is directly connected to the ground. For doing the DC analysis, we used to calculate the value of IC and VCE, and this is known as operating point, and the value of IC and VCE must lie in the active region. So this is basically DC analysis part. By doing DC analysis, now we have fixed the operating point through this I and RB. Now we are moving to the AC analysis or small signal analysis. So for amplifier, now we are focusing on the small signal analysis. So for small signal analysis, the first step is to see how the DC voltage and current source will behave at AC. So we have to draw the AC equivalent circuit. For drawing the AC equivalent circuit, we will make this VCC as ground and this current source will behave as open circuit. So the circuit will behave like this. This is now ground. This is the AC equivalent circuit. This current source will remove from there. So and this will become short circuit. this has also become short circuit, and this has also become short circuit. So now you can redraw the circuit at AC, where this VCC is replaced by ground, this I will replace by open circuit, these capacitors CC1, CC2 and CE will replace by a short circuit. So for this circuit, when we plot the frequency response for this amplifier, common emitter amplifier, so this is the graph of common emitter amplifier frequency response, or frequency response of any amplifier, whether it is common emitter, common base or common collector. Here you can see that this graph is drawn between frequency, which is at the log scale, and the gain. This is in dB. This is gain A, which is in dB. From this diagram, it is clear that at mid band, gain is constant. So that means within this range, FL to FH, there is no change in the gain. That's why it is known as mid band, and gain can be constant only when all the capacitances can be neglected. So there is an important role of BJT capacitance at the AC analysis. So whenever all the capacitance can be neglected, like the value of like that we can neglect that very small value. So in that case, the gain is constant, and this curve, this portion of this curve is known as mid-band response. Whereas at low frequency band, whenever the frequency is less than this FL, the gain will start reducing. And this reduction is due to the coupling and the bypass capacitor of the circuit, which you have seen in the previous slide. If the value of CC1 and CC2 and CE are significant, that we cannot neglect, because at low frequency the impedance of CC1 will become high. So and in this situation we cannot neglect this. Whenever frequency is very high, then impedance is low. So at high frequency or mid-band frequency we can neglect these capacitances, but at low frequency we cannot neglect it. So in that case, the gain will reduce because of these CC1, CC2 and the bypass capacitor. Whereas at high frequency, CC1, CC2 and CE, that can be neglected. But at high frequency, internal capacitance of BJT comes into the picture. And due to the internal capacitance of BJT or MOSFET, the gain will start decreasing, and this part of this frequency response is known as high frequency band. So basically, for common emitter amplifier, in your syllabus you have to study low frequency response separately, mid band response separately, and high frequency response separately. So that means for common emitter amplifier, there are 3 frequency responses: high frequency, low frequency and mid band. And for this amplifier, the analysis also can be done in 3 different ways. In first, we have to consider CC1, CC2 and CE in the calculation. In second, we can neglect all the capacitances. In third, we have to consider the value of internal capacitances. So that's why there are 3 different circuit and 3 different analysis for this common emitter amplifier. So let's see the BJT capacitance at high frequency, because in this lecture we are focusing on the high frequency model. So BJT capacitance at high frequency can be divided into 2 parts. One is base emitter junction capacitance, and this capacitance is due to the changes VBE. Because of this, there is a charge storage in the base region. So there is not only storing on the base region, but also the charge stored in the base emitter depletion layer. So because of this, there is a situation where the charge is storage, and at one is positive side and another is negative side. So one capacitance will form at the base emitter junction, and this is known as base emitter junction capacitance. Similarly, another junction capacitance, because of depletion layer, will form at the collector base junction, and this is represented by C mu, and this capacitance is also known as depletion capacitance. So because of base emitter junction, there is one capacitance, and because of collector base junction there is another capacitance. You can understand this with this diagram, like this N, P, N. So one capacitance at this due to this depletion layer, and second one is due to this depletion layer. So basically there are two capacitance which we have to include in the high frequency model. These are known as the internal capacitances. So let's see the high frequency model of transistor. This transistor, this is the model for this only. This is base, this is collector, and this is emitter. So let's see, we have discussed there are two capacitance. One is at the base and emitter. So we have add this C pi between base and emitter, and another is collector base junction. So this is base and this is collector. So this C mu is added between base and collector. Here, because of the base region, charge storage in depletion layers as well as in the base region. So to model this base region, a small Rx is added in the high frequency. We can omit this Rx from the low frequency models, but at high frequency of BJT only, this Rx should be considered. So at base there is a small resistance Rx. This R pi, if you remember in the mid-band pi or T model, in pi model, the base can be modeled with R pi. So this is the input resistance of pi model, R pi. This is the voltage across R pi that can be represented as V pi. C pi is the base emitter junction capacitance, and this is the collector base junction capacitance, C mu. Definitely the current, which is IC, will be replaced by GM V pi, because V pi is the voltage across this, and RO is the internal resistance of this. This is RO between collector and emitter. So this is the high frequency model of transistor. Now using this high frequency model, we can derive the expressions for common emitter amplifier. So this is the pi model and this is T model. For T model, you can see that the base is connected with this Rx, same to the pi model. The C mu is connected between base and collector, and the C pi is connected between base and emitter. In T model, we have to add this Re in place of R pi, and this Re is the small signal emitter resistance. So this is connected at the emitter node. GM V pi is same. This is the IC current, and RO, the value of RO will be used to represent the collector emitter terminal. So the RO is between collector and emitter and is also known as the output impedance of the BJT. So this is pi model. This will be used whenever there is something connected at the emitter node. If emitter is directly grounded, then we can use pi model. If emitter is connected with through this resistor, through any resistor or current source, then we can use this T model. But we can use both the models to calculate this. So for high frequency model, we have seen in the previous slide. So this is the explanation of this high frequency model. Now, using the high frequency model of BJT, we can calculate the unity gain frequency of BJT. Unity gain frequency means, for this graph, this at high frequency, we can calculate these values at which the gain will become unity. So this is at 0 dB. So at 0 dB can be converted in the normal unit, that will become 1. So actually we are calculating this value at which the gain will become unity. So to calculate this, we have redrawn the pi model, and this is to derive the unity gain frequency. So we have applied a voltage VB at this node. This is IB current, and from here you can see that this base to this RO, this is basically pi model of BJT that we have seen in the previous slide. Now we have applied a VB and we are checking the frequency response of this. So you can see from the graph, it is self-explanatory. This is the IB. This current can be represented by C pi C mu. This is the IC, which can be represented by GM V pi. This minus this current, because GM V pi, this current is equals to this plus this. So from here we have calculated the value of IC. Basically we want to calculate the IC by IB, which will be the gain, and this is the gain. Basically this is the gain, and when we compare this gain, this current gain with unity, at that time the frequency can be known as the unity gain frequency. So for that we have done the calculation. IC is like GM minus SC mu V pi. V pi, you can see that V pi is what? These all are in parallel. When we multiply, if you want to calculate the value of V pi, then IB will be multiplied by the resistance. So I into R will become V pi. And here you can see that if we calculate, if we solve the parallel combination, that will comes out this value. And when we take IB below this, then that will become the current gain. And this is the expression for the current gain. So at the frequency for which the model is valid, which is omega c mu must be very, very less than 2 GM, up to which this model is valid. Otherwise this model is not valid. So here we can neglect this term S into C mu. So this is the approximation used in the derivation. From here you can write this expression like this. Like this can be neglected. This can be neglected at 0. If the value is very less, then we can consider it at 0. So this is the expression, and this can be represented by HFE or current gain. This is the current gain, and this GM into this GM and IB is known as beta naught, and from here this can be the omega beta or 3 dB frequency. This can be represented at 3 dB frequency, where omega naught is the low frequency value of beta. If we compare this with the single time constant circuit, then 3 dB frequency omega can be calculated from this expression, and that is equals to 1 upon C pi plus C mu into R pi. And from here you can calculate the unity gain bandwidth, which is equals to gain at low frequency multiplied by the omega beta, which is the 3 dB frequency, and from this omega t can be given as GM upon C pi plus C mu, and from here you can calculate the FT. So this is how you can calculate the unity gain frequency of the amplifier. So these are the important topic or questions from this topic. So like this question can be asked: draw the high frequency model of BJT. So there are two models, pi and T. So you have to draw both the models. It can be asked, draw the high frequency model of BJT and derive the upper 3 dB frequency. So you have to do the complete derivation, which I have discussed in the slide. The next question can be formed like explain the BJT capacitances. So you have to explain both the capacitance in detail. Then last question can be asked, explain the frequency response of single stage and multi-stage amplifier in detail. So we have studied the single stage amplifier frequency response through this slide. This, when we use the multi-stage, then gain can be increased. But in case of multi-stage, this graph can be approached towards the ideal situation. So multi-stage amplifier can also be discussed. So you can see from the book that. So for this lecture, this is all from my side. Thank you so much.